the Knicks, I don't want to say that an injury is the best thing to happen to, but I believe in addition by subtraction. And I think Julius Randle.
Julius Randle's getting in the way. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and with me today is my tag team partner. And because of the Eastern Conference second round, I took it back to the late 80s, early 90s. He is the Greg Valentine to my honky-tonk man in rhythm and blues. The icon, the showstopper, the main event, and the reason why we are here, Coach Mike Francis. And Coach, how are you on this wind-up Wednesday edition of the Odd Coaches Podcast?
I couldn't be better. It's playoff time in the NBA.
Yes, indeed. So, fans, today, the second round preview of the NBA playoffs. We're going to talk next steps with the Memphis Grizzlies. And segment 3, we're going to kick off WNBA news and notes because it's almost that time. But, Mike, second round matchup, Philadelphia versus Boston. The 80s are back, but is that a good thing? Because the Doctor, Moses, Bird, and DJ are not walking through that door.
No.
We're going to see some other players, but what do you think about that series, sir?
I think it's going to be pretty good. If Embiid can score points in the paint and correct, because there's nobody in Boston that can guard him inside. It's just like if he don't hang around at the 3-point line, the foul line extended, they got a shot. They do.
But Embiid's still hurt, though.
Yeah, but so that means if he's not going to do that, their ass is out.
Well, they might have been out if he was in there anyway. Now, I got to tell you, I was very unimpressed with the Boston coach. Wow. They didn't close out Atlanta the way a team should have closed out Atlanta.
Thank you.
So that's just kind of showing you what kind of coach Ime was.
Mm-hmm.
So one of these teams are going to be in the Eastern Conference Final.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Boston's to lose because they're the healthier team. But I was kind of underwhelmed with the coaching of the Celtics. So any prediction on that one, sir? What do you think?
I think Boston got too much talent. Philly does have some talent. They're good when they're good, but I think Boston can afford to have a guy have a night off and still be successful. Philly can't do that. Philly can't miss.
Glenn Rivers is still on the sidelines, too, and we're getting deep in the postseason. I'm just going with the data. We're getting in the postseason. All right. A lot of people are excited about the Miami Heat and the New York Knicks in the second round. Fans, one of these teams will be in the NBA Finals. Oh, my God. My partner all year would say, oh, God, the Eastern Conference. So the 90s are back. But again, is that a good team? Tom Thibodeau is the head coach of the New York Knicks. So it's about to get ugly. It's about to get physical. This is not going to be the sweet, free-flowing basketball that people have grown to like. Somebody's getting fouled. Mike, what are you thinking about the Knicks and the Heat in the postseason?
I think that plays to Miami's advantage, though. Even though the Knicks going to be tough, I think, poking the bear. You know what I mean? Like,
Jimmy Butler was getting it in, man.
Man, he loves that contact. He wants you to bump. Like he wants it.
And he knows Thibodeau, and Thibodeau knows him.
And he went 40 plus the other night, 50 plus.
Yeah.
The other night in a closeout game, right?
Yes, he did. So who you got winning? I can tell you who's losing. Fans. Who's got to watch this stuff?
Yeah, and the over-under on this game going to be like 110 points. No, I'm joking.
Hey, Cotton Man, I could finally take the under in an NBA game.
Yeah, definitely. The under is going to definitely pop on this every night. But it's a tough one to call. I like the way Miami has been playing, but I'm really super proud of the Knicks. It's going to come down to one thing I don't think people want to hear. Well, two things. One, Miami-wise, if they can get support from them other guys, because Jimmy going to do his thing, that's going to be for them. The Knicks, I don't want to say that an injury is the best thing to happen to, but I believe in addition by subtraction. And I think Julius
So
Randle.
Julius Randle's getting in the way. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, that's a coach thing, guys.
Yes.
Sometimes
Swing
take your
stopper
time getting
supreme.
back.
Yes, swing stopper supreme.
Okay. All right. So Denver and Phoenix. This is going to be a good series. And by the time this airs, 2 or 3 games have been played. Worry when the home team loses. But Denver looked very impressive in their first game. And I've liked Denver a lot. And Denver's finally healthy. Phoenix has a lot of talent. I didn't think Denver would come out like that. As I said, Menace to Society. I didn't think they'd be blasting like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Denver looked ready to play. This is going to be a good series. What are you thinking, Mike?
I don't think Phoenix can match what I saw. I don't think they have the people to match what I saw. I mean, they tried. Denver played so well defensively. They forced Phoenix into some bad shots. They got guys doing jump passes because they're getting cut off. Like one time, Durant drove the lane, jumped up there, and twisted all the way back around through the ball. I was like, "What the hell? Why didn't he just do that at first? Keep the ball moving." But yeah, so defensively as well as the Murray kid is really coming on. Like he's showing himself.
Yes.
And again, my vote for MVP is Jokic. So,
and he did it in the postseason.
yeah.
All right. So now, fans, as you know, we tape in the morning on Sundays, got our coffee and everything. So Game 7 is the day, on the day of this taping between Golden State and Sacramento. So, Mike, do we have a call on that we will look very smart on Wednesday, or oops, my bad?
Oof. I like the Kings.
I like the Kings too, man. Them young legs, man.
I like
Them
the
young
Kings.
legs is crazy. I hate young legs.
But I got to give home field. That's who I give the advantage to.
Then that will be Sacramento, sir, because they're the 3 seed.
Sacramento.
And Golden State has not played well on the road. But don't forget the NBA. Click, click, click. Lakers, Golden State in the second round. Click, click. Now, the Lakers are going to bring you an audience anyway.
Been there.
But I had Lakers, Golden State. But let's see what happens. So let's get to the Lakers, man. Following called it. Shaq, you got old coach out of the way because distractions came into play. And Memphis was too busy poking grizzly bears. One of my favorite movies, folks, was Uptown Saturday Night. And there's a character in there played by one of the Nicholas brothers named Little Seymour. And he had his man Big Percy behind him, and Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby came in. And they talked Little Seymour and got their tails hit. Okay. So whenever you hear anybody on our show talk about, man, you're loud talking Little Seymour, we're talking about Dylan Brooks right now, because Dylan Brooks won one game. Memphis won a game and came out talking. He old. Yeah, got no 40 on me. And then they lost, and he didn't go to the press conference the first time. And he didn't go to the press conference the second time.
Yo, what happened?
So, again, and we talk trash. PJ wants me to talk more trash like I would outside of Mike knows Keith, not Dr. Adams. So we trash talk all the time. But man, if you can't back up nothing, sometimes you just gotta check ball, hold your little fist up on the screen.
Keep your mouth closed.
Keep your mouth closed. So Mike, congratulations to your Lakers. But any thoughts on the series between the Lakers and Memphis before we close out this segment to talk about Memphis in more detail?
I thought LA did a very, very good job of defending the rim. I think they did a good job.
Yeah, street clothes was out. I mean,
they did a good
Anthony
job.
Davis was out there, man.
See, the thing is, between the two of them, they're going to have to get. But the biggest thing was D'Angelo Russell. I said they weren't going to make it deep in the playoffs because their guard play sucked. That last game was the best game that D'Angelo Russell played. If he can keep that kind of consistency, then the Lakers can continue to go and compete. But if he falls
And Rue's
back,
hitting shots too, buddy. Rue is
who?
hitting open
Well,
shots. Rue
we knew that.
Hachimura is hitting open shots.
We knew that, but it's just the decision making by D'Angelo Russell. Sometimes he didn't have as many the other night. Like he's making decisions like he's the shooter or he's the guy that's supposed to. No, you're supposed to get everybody involved, get them started, and if it comes back to you, that's when it's your ball. Like, but he don't even do that. Like, but shots was falling the other night, so it made him look better.
Tell me a little bit more about this Reeves kid. Talk to me about him because he's been playing well.
He's a tough kid. Really,
it's Austin Reeves, right?
Yeah, Austin Reeves can really, he can score. He has moves. He's, pretty good. It's just, how it is, it's roles. And once you get into a certain role with certain teams, man, it don't matter how talented you are. There are plenty great scorers in the NBA who are just defenders because they're playing that role on their team. They have to defend that position. But he's found the right spot where his ability to shoot and having LeBron on your team and AD gives you more one-on-one opportunities where you can score.
You are not being guarded primary.
You know what I mean? So that's
so he's primary he's secondary becoming primary because like Hachimura and Russell, they're making the play when you're guarding the star. So that, I thought those three guys you mentioned really did a good job of that during the series and should be interested in the second round. But when we come back, we're going to take a deep dive into the Memphis Grizzlies because they've got some problems that they're going to have to address financially. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast.
The CKA SAVE Project is an industry leader in advocating for student-athlete, academic, and athletic needs. Through academic and athletic enrichment, the CKA SAVE Project is on the forefront of the issues facing 21st century student athletes. As student athletes continue to struggle to find a better balance between academic and athletic success, the CKA SAVE Project offers academic and athletic services to support student athlete academic success, including academic skills assessment, academic and athletic consulting, academic monitoring, academic and athletic workshops. For more information or to schedule a free consultation, contact Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. Good help is on the fire. And in segment 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the Memphis Grizzlies. So, a lot of controversies towards the end of their season, regular season, postseason. And, we're a broken record about distractions. But I got to talk about Ja Morant saying, quote, "I just got to be better with my decision making." That's pretty much of it. Off the court issues affected us as an organization. Just need more discipline. So he addressed the elephant in the room. Any thoughts on Ja Morant actually mentioning that's my fault?
Well, it's good for him to recognize what's going on. And when you're the leader, you're supposed to take the blame. I mean, good point guards take the blame, even though when it's not their fault. I always told my guys that and teaching them in leadership too. Like, hey, look, man, if a guy turn the ball over, don't get on him about it. I'm already going to get on the ass.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to encourage him and you take the blame for it. And you'll see how y'all become, you closer. So for him saying, oh, yeah, it's my fault. And legitimately, we saw it was his fault. I mean, we saw it.
Like, the bad was not up for negotiation.
At all. At all.
So I got to give you this quote from him. I feel like mine is more off the court and on the court, just being disciplined, both sides, off the court, making better decisions, on the court, being locked in even more, being a leader of this team. It pretty much starts with me. So however I attack any situation, I know my guys will follow. I just have to be better in that area. So the fact that he even mentioned locked in, that's something in terms of helping him move forward. But speaking of moving forward, Dillon Brooks. So here's where we just talk personnel. This is the business of basketball fans. Last season, Dillon Brooks infamously claimed that the Grizzlies were building our dynasty. And he said that after a blowout win over the Golden State Warriors. And I believe the Warriors won the title last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Did they?
They
Maybe
won the title last year.
slightly.
So a year later, he's still talking. And Draymond Green said in March, he said the dynasty starts after you, not with you. And say what you want about Draymond,
Ooh.
and we do. He's one of the most brightest, intelligent basketball players that has possibly ever played the game in terms of understanding basketball. So now let's go back to the NBA and the NBA PA finalizing their new collective bargain agreement. Okay. The deal didn't explicitly create rules to prevent teams from retaining their own players, but it added that second luxury tax that Mike was like, wait a second. That second luxury tax is going to hurt teams trying to
Be
continue to
better.
keep their players.
Yeah, exactly.
So while you guys are just watching games and stuff, we're looking at the behind the scenes, and the NBA Players Association is not as strong as Major League Baseball. They make very today decisions, and they don't really think long term. They kept the kids out so they can keep their jobs, and now the owners have the ability to kind of limit their ability to overspend. So it's like, what are y'all fighting for? So teams that cross the line will lose flexibility in free agency, pay higher tax rates, and face severely restricted salary matching rules on trades, and in some cases, even see their first round draft picks, leave. So Dylan Brooks is up for a contract. John Morant rookie extension kicks in next season. Desmond Bain will be eligible for a similar deal. Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark, they got long-term deals, as well as Steven Adams, Tyrus Jones, and Luke Kennard are all set to earn 8 figures. Somebody is going to get left out. So as we said growing up, Mike, one of these kids is not like the other.
The one of them, man.
So now you've got Dylan Brooks wanting money as a 14-5 guy.
For what?
Who's coming off a horrible playoffs, and he's alienated people around the league. And we talk about distractions. Who wants to bring that in the locker room? Well, Draymond can talk a lot because he got ring. Dylan Brooks, again, I can get that somewhere else cheaper. Okay. So let's talk about the team flaws. Offense was a big issue. Dylan Brooks shot 24 for 77 from the field and 10 for 42 from 3-point range in the playoff series against the Lakers. It's no feelings. It's no emotions. That's bad data. Okay. So, Mike, if you're Memphis, you got some decisions to make. What you gonna do?
He got to go. Salary cap, right? Soft salary
numbers.
cap.
Yeah.
Soft salary cap.
I'm not paying all that money in Memphis.
No, I'm not. He got to go. I mean,
would you try to trade him?
What am I going to get for him? A draft pick, maybe?
I don't know.
No, I'm saying, will I get a draft pick out of it? Maybe
I don't know.
A draft pick.
I don't know, because the last thing people remember, 24 for 77, 10 for 42,
and a whole lot
and no shows on press conferences, and getting drubbed by 40 in the last game after mentioning, wait for it, 40. That's
really
just
drubbed.
Yeah, man.
Really drubbed.
Okay. Well, that should be interesting. So let's talk about Cleveland. So Cleveland got beat up. Okay. That's just no other way to say it. The New York Knicks punched them in the mouth and they didn't punch back. But they had a very good regular season. They won 51 games during the regular season, and they were the league's top-rated defensive team before the Knicks beat them up. So J.B. Bickerstaff is staying as coach. His job is secure, according to the president of basketball operations, Kobe Altman. But Mike, what are you doing if you're Cleveland? Because, man, that's going to be a tough one to come back from, because you got mollywopped in public, if you will.
But they got what they wanted, right?
They got Spider. Spider didn't play too bad.
Right. He hit some shots. He hit some incredible shots. But what he reminded me of a lot of is Dame Lillard. Watching him play, I saw a lot of Dame Lillard. Great threes, great moves, great shot. Not a lot of W's.
Yeah.
When it comes to playoffs. Like, to me, that's the new Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Just me.
All right.
I don't.
So we'll keep an eye on some Cleveland moves. But yeah, man, the Knicks just kind of bullied y'all and second shots. And yeah, Thibodeau usually runs his guys to the ground, but he ran Cleveland to the ground. So we're going to end segment 2 with something really, really positive, really special. And I am happy for this scholar here. Phoenix Suns, Kevin Durant has become the third NBA player to have a lifetime deal with Nike. And he announced that last week. Durant's 34. He's played in his 15th NBA season. He's a 13-time All-Star. He does a lot with grassroots. He really does. Does a lot in the community. I live in Prince George's County. I see a lot of it, especially with youth basketball. Really happy that his philanthropic endeavors are doing well. His mom's a big influence in the area. Mike, I know you've done some work with Team Durant in the past. Any thoughts on just Kevin and him getting his lifetime Nike deal? Again, congratulations, salute to you.
It's a great honor to be named with those guys and actually receive a lifetime deal like those. I think he's had a very successful career. I don't care where he was traded to. Free agency started this. I don't like the word super team. Some teams won championship. The Celtics had 4 Hall of Famers on the team. I'm not trying to get into that super team. Super team was a bunch of losers, a bunch of GMs who don't know how to build a team, a bunch of coaches who don't know how to coach, a bunch of front offices that don't know what the hell they're doing. So it's easier, and media hating on other because your city will never win for the team you covering. So they came up with this word super team, and it's I don't care about that. Congrats to KD. He's put in the work.
Yes.
One of the best scorers I've ever seen play in the game of basketball, up and down. So
congratulations, sir. And following will remind you that you were 4th team All-Net when he was a senior.
Ain't that something?
Man, that honorable mention from the 2004 team, look that up when you get a chance.
It's crazy.
Man. Washington Post, All-Met team 2004, first team, second team, third team, fourth team, All-Met. Honorable mention. That's just a crazy team. And gave you a little homework. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches podcast to talk about the WNBA, getting ready for the season.
The high school and college academic and athletic landscape is changing. The growing number of college transfers, as well as student athletes being able to profit off the use of their name, image, and likeness, has given student athletes the freedom and power to make life-changing decisions. That is why it is important for student athletes to be properly informed throughout the decision-making process. The difference between success and failure is often measured not by yards, but by inches, and even the most successful coaches and players use outside independent consultants to help improve their decision-making, which improves their results. That is what the CKA SAVE project would like to do for student athletes across the country, improve their academic and athletic results. Our academic and athletic consulting services assist student athletes with the college decision-making process. The CKA team of former high school and college coaches can provide student athletes an independent assessment of their academic and athletic skills to assist student athletes in their college decision-making process. Let the CKA team evaluate your academic and athletic ability to assist you in finding the right fit for your academic and athletic career. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free virtual consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by email at cka@ckasaveproject.org.
Welcome back to the Odd Coaches podcast. And in segment 3, let's get you going with the WNBA. So training camps have begun. May 5th will start preseason games. May 15th is the last date for the preseason game. May 18th is the final roster cut down day. 12 players, man, 144 players. Wow. And then the regular season begins May 19th. So to close out today, we're going to talk about some on-court stories to watch and some off-court stories to watch. So let's talk some roster moves. The Washington Mystics have re-signed 3-time All-Star Christy Tolliver. First of all, I am surprised Christy is 36. It just shows my age because we really went through her career. Like Wow. Wasn't she on the Maryland National Championship team?
May
Uh,
have been.
may have been. But it's interesting because she's doing a good job with the coaching piece that she still
Mhm.
wants to play. That's why, I wanted to pause on that. The Mystics are trying to win right now. They're not trying to have any kids. They traded their lottery pick this year. They're trying to win right now, and that should be interesting watching them. Any thoughts on the Mystics getting Christy Tolliver back? I guess it's win now right now for the Mystics.
Yeah, it's they're trying to load up and get it done this year, which is good. And Tolliver's a very good player. I like her a lot.
She'll knock that
Definitely.
shot down, man.
She will kill it.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have the Indiana Fever, and they waived Emily Inksler last week, making her the fourth lottery pick since
Mm.
2019, whom the WNBA team has waived. Wow. Wave, released, or traded. She started her college career in Syracuse, finished in Louisville. She was the number 4 pick in the 2022 draft. And yeah, wow. I mean, this is crazy. Indiana had 2 more first round picks this year, selecting Aaliyah Boston. I don't think they're cutting her, and Indiana guard Grace
Nah.
Bergman. So Indiana has not been a good team. They had an WNBA worst record, 5-31, and man, good luck with that. Any thoughts on that? Because remember, Indiana had all those picks last year. They got all these picks this year. They're really young, but man, somebody can't keep them all, and you only get 12 in the WNBA.
Yeah, so this is this is the perfect time for to talk about expansion for the WNBA because this is where good players are going to start getting cut. I think we need to make sure that we look at that as a possibility. Don't say there's not enough players because yes, you can't keep them all, but we're starting to see good players being
Yes.
released, good players being cut off teams. That's a sign of the game growing, really. So it's good to have that as the precursor to improvement or maybe expansion. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, some people are going to have to suffer, because of it.
Yeah. And the last on court story that I kind of want to follow, and we've been following it from the beginning, the WNBA is expanding charter flights this upcoming season. It will include flights for all playoff games. So you'll have
Hey,
charters for all playoff games. You will have charters for the WNBA Commissioner Cup Championship game. Stop.
just the championship game.
Just the championship game. And select regular season games when teams have back-to-backs on their schedule. You remember the airport fiasco last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So they're doing a little bit more inch by inch, life's a cinch. So now I want to talk about the off-court stories. Ion Television. The WNBA and Scripps have signed a multi-year deal to televise Friday night games on Ion. Mike, I know you have Ion on your cable, but do you ever watch Ion?
I do because Blue Bloods is on.
And Law and Order rerun.
Yeah, the Blue Bloods reruns that I have DVR'd. I've watched every episode about 1,000,000 times. But yeah,
Yes.
that's why I'm on Ion.
Okay. So the plan, and KJ had no idea what Ion Television was, and then he said, "Oh wait, Gran watches that." So again, the regular kid ain't turning to Ion to watch Law and Order from 2004. But the plan is to show 44 games over 15 weeks, starting May 26th, running to September 8th. There will be national games the entire country can see, as well as one shown in local regional markets. The WNBA is the first sports league to air on Ion, and the first sports property on the new Scripps sports platform. WNBA and also women's college basketball, their ratings have been increased. The current WNBA deal with ESPN is up in 2025. ESPN will show 25 regular season games and the entire playoffs. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert said on the deal with Ion, Access to watch WNBA games are in high demand, and scripts dedicated Friday night to a lineup of WNBA games. So, Mike, what do you think about Ion's deal with the WNBA?
It's kudos. They're back in it, man. They got in it. They're going to expand the game a little more. I think it's beneficial to let the to give as much exposure as possible to them. Like I like that. I like every aspect of that.
All right.
You don't think it's beneficial?
No, man. Look, anytime you can get a consistent day and a consistent time, now your audience can find you. That's
They
a
can
big
line
deal.
up. They can make plans around it. You know what I mean?
So if you can find them and it's consistent, now you can lock it in. And if they start, to put the marquee games on Friday night, now it's must watch, TV. It's the summertime. And if you can get on before everybody go out or something, consistency is a key. And your favorite TV shows in the past wanted regular time slots. TGI Friday, TGIF on ABC, the Thursday night lineup in the 80s with Cosby, Family Ties, Cheers, and Night. So it was you just locked in. And then it was different world, after that. So that appointment TV. That's
it's
a good
thing. Different world.
All right. Phoenix. So let me tell you about Phoenix, Mike. And I think this is the first time this has crossed your desk. In a move that perhaps is a game changer and a tipping point, and Pac-12, you guys need to pay attention to this. The Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury have struck a deal that removes their long-held television rights from cable. Starting next season, the team's games will be broadcast for free over the air and streamed online with a new direct-to-consumer service. The team's contract with Bally Sports Arizona, where their games have been held, has expired and will not be renewed. Okay. The shift could cost the Suns tens of millions of dollars in guaranteed money, but it will boost the number of households that are able to watch its product from about 800,000 homes to 2.8 million homes. So it's a calculated risk. They said they're not focused on money. They're focused on winning, success, and take care of fans. Okay. More fans are going to be able to see them. So this comes as the Diamond Sports Group, Bally Sports Arizona's parent company, filed for bankruptcy in March. And we talked about it. I was like, "Ooh, Mike, check this out." Now, I didn't know this was coming, but this is the equivalent fans of Comcast Sportsnet not showing the Wizards games on TV, and they're being shown on a local station. So media rights are moving in this direction, and a lot of these rights deals are expiring. So, Mike, what do you think about the fact that it's no longer going to be the local cable channel with the media world changing? It's going to be over the air. It's also going to be easier for fans locally to access their team.
I think it's a great deal. We talk about it again. This is another avenue where things start to show expansion. It starts to raise visibility. I really think it's important to increase the visibility of the sport, and the sport will grow. We just saw it in college, where the women's game was the highest rated. It was rated higher and more viewers than the men's game this year. And so as we start to see the basketball get better, we got personalities developing. They're not little porcelain pieces anymore that people always treat them or want them to be like. Like, we got competition, we got trash talking, we got things that's going to say, "Man, I want to see her play." Like, that's the kind of thing that they're developing.
And Mike, we're around young people in the education and athletics. How they consume media is different than how I consume media. And it's more of them than me. So I'm starting to consume media different. I don't really watch Peacock on my television. But if I'm out with these random wrestling references that I'm making, if I'm sitting at a football game, I might think of a match, go to Peacock on my phone and pull it up. My son is constantly showing me highlights and clips and different things on social media, which is quite fascinating, by the way, because everybody's their own agent. You can
I wish.
the Odd Coaches podcast is looking for an intern to help us with that because, hey, we work. I don't know where you have all this disposable time, where y'all got time to create all these videos. And I know you're not doing it in one take. No. So it is changing. So the fact that the Phoenix Suns, who have a good team, again, that's a good team. And the Phoenix Mercury, who has a good team, and you got Brittany coming back. That's a big deal. People are going to want to see that, to let more viewers see it. That means more hats, more T-shirts, more mugs, more this. So you can keep your little canned, guaranteed money from your.
You said your little canned guaranteed
the regional
money.
Organization. I'm an owner that just bought the team, so obviously I'm not worried about losing them little nickel dimes. I'm thinking long term, and I can see if you go to Phoenix, more people are going to have their gear on, their this, their that, and only the Cardinals, pretty much are not kind of doing anything. So
no, that's
because I think the Diamondbacks aren't too bad. So Arizona's going to pop with this because now Tucson and they're going to try to make the state local. that sounds like what they're trying to do.
I mean, but if we could get, you can see it in baseball. I want to compare to baseball where all the regional TV shows are now covering in those big contracts like Masson. Like, even if I can't see I can get on Masson and watch the Orioles. I think it's like when the WNBA get to that level, like it's going to really pop because, the women's college basketball game is more visible than the WNBA. We just got to increase the amount of the viewership and then increase the people in houses. And when it comes to that technology shit, I was sitting in the restaurant with AJ yesterday watching where they said the whole hit row is still staying at
SmackDown.
And we're looking at Peacock and he got his phone turned and I'm looking. I couldn't tell you the first thing about Peacock on my phone. Like and that's the way our kids do now. Kids these days now, everything is right on their handheld device.
Yeah.
We bought my TV, my stepdaughter, a smart TV 3 years ago. She still sits and watches Netflix on her phone. You got the smart TV right there, but she'd rather watch it on her phone. That's just the way they are. And that's just, going back to what you said about our kids now and how they consume social media and things like that.
Yeah. A lot of people are cutting the cord. My wife's a track coach. She's watching meets from all over the Diamond League and this, that, and the other. YouTube TV. You don't need traditional outlets anymore. Heck, man, Bed Bath & Beyond is done, finished, gone, kaput. They're over. So, and where's Staples? How'd that work out for you? So, anytime you want to go ahead and try something new, especially when you've got the financial capital of your own money behind you, man, good luck to them. So fans, moving forward, we're going to have more and more WNBA coverage because we're at that time of year. We've got playoffs going on. We've got all kinds of things happening. So on behalf of my tag team partner, Coach Mike Francis, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast. And we'll see you on the sidelines. Till next time. Take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.